What's going on? You know, this is Zaltone and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing our 1-year review of the MegaHome Distiller. It has been a year since we purchased this distiller and it's been great. I mean, honestly, it's been great. And in that year's time frame, and if you look behind me, you can see that we're constantly using it. We probably run this thing at least once a day, every day. My wife and I both, we drink water on a regular basis. We try to make sure we keep our water intake pretty high. So we do keep water stored in glass containers, and we try to keep them full. We have had power outages a couple of times, and if you have a power outage running off a generator, you really don't want to be trying to run too much. But if we had to, we could run this distiller off of it. A couple of things. I know there's been a lot of different responses, different thoughts as far as, whether you should drink distilled water, if you need to add anything to the water before you drink it and all of that. As I always say, the best thing for you to do is do your own research and make the choice for yourself on whether that's something that you want to do. For us, we've been drinking distilled water. I am getting regular checkups and all that kind of stuff, and there's been absolutely no issues. So it's been working for us. I just finished running the distiller myself, and we got this full here, and our glass containers are full at this point. So I'll be filling one of those glass containers up shortly. But the first thing you'll notice is that our distiller looks like it's brand new. And yes, it does. We take really good care of it, and we make sure we keep it clean. And I'll be sharing with you a couple of things that we do in order to keep it looking like it did when it came out of the box. Also, there are some ideas and thoughts, and I will, if you haven't seen it already, link up in the cards the previous video when we first initially purchased the distiller and unboxed it, so that you can take a look and see, if you read through some of the comments, quite a few comments, and I really appreciate all the comments that we received on this distiller. Quite a few comments there about, making sure that different ways of cleaning it, and again, different thoughts on, different individuals' thoughts on actually drinking distilled water. So make sure that you do check out that other video if you haven't already, and again, I will link it up in the cards. So we are constantly running this distiller, and it's partially because, one, we have 2 containers that we actually fill or keep full so that we have fresh water on hand for drinking water. We don't usually cook with it. On occasion we do, but for the most part it's primarily just for our drinking water. We do filter using one of the Brita filters for cooking purposes, but for our drinking purposes, this is what we use. There's a couple of products that I'm gonna share with you today, just simple things. One of them, of course, is how to keep it clean. The second one is basically one of the ways I actually drink, keep my water on hand for me to drink personally. And of course, all of those products I will link in the description below, as well as the distiller and the containers, the glass containers that we currently use in order to store water. I did find one very good water storage unit that I'm thinking about purchasing at some point, because if we're ever out of power for an extended period of time and we want to have fresh drinking water, I'm thinking that might be a good investment, and it possibly would allow us to give the distiller a break every now and then. So I'll link that in the description below as well. And of course, if we do purchase that storage container, the ward storage unit, I will definitely do a product review or unboxing and product review on it as well. So there's a number of different ways that you can keep it clean, and if you run it as much as we do, we have to dust frequently. For some reason, there is a lot of dust in the air in our home, so we dust and we try to filter the air out as much as possible as well. And because I have sinus issues, sometimes I have allergies and stuff, so we try to do that. But the fan on the top will collect dust. So one of the things that you'll probably want to do Very cheap, inexpensive. This I will not link in the description. They're too easy. You can find them anywhere. A cheap paintbrush. You can get them from Walmart. You can get them from any little store. Get the cheapest ones that you can find. This one I usually keep on my desk, and I don't know if you can see the film, the dust flying around, but this one I usually keep on my desk and in my office, and what I use it for is to dust off my keyboard on my computers, and you know, just the small areas that I can't get to with a regular towel, such as this one. But the fins in the top of the distiller, and they do, or it does, it gets dust in here. Now there are screws in here. You could possibly take the whole thing apart and dust and clean the whole thing out. Unless you really know what you're doing, I wouldn't recommend that you do that. But and we'll slide this guy over a little bit. Excuse me, I wouldn't recommend that you do that. But you could always just take a vacuum cleaner, vacuum the fins out, and you can use something as simple as this to kind of brush out any dust and whatnot that collects in the top. And then just the top is plastic, so just wiping it down with a nice damp towel should keep it pretty clean for you, or piece of paper towel or a dish rag or something like that. You do not want to put water on this unit. So you just dampen a rag and wipe it down every so often. Should keep it pretty clean. Today was the first time I actually cleaned it. So the dust that you see in the top is dust that is collected over the last year. So again, we do try to filter our air out in the house. We run an air purifier every now and then to try to keep things pretty clean, because like I said, for some reason we have a lot of dust, so we try to make sure we keep that clean. The top, of course, you can just take some dishwashing liquid or whatever and a sponge and just kind of clean that out and dry it. Make sure you don't get any water in the top of that unit. The inside, of course, it comes with this water residue cleaner, and we've used this quite frequently. You can also, which I'll also link in the description, buy some water, the residue cleaner from Amazon, and it's pretty easy to use. You basically put about 2 tablespoons. You fill the container up to the fill line, put 2 tablespoons of the cleaner in the water, and run it without the top on it until it boils, and then give it about 20 minutes or so. Unplug it, give it about 20 minutes or so, and then you can empty the water out and clean the inside out with a nice sponge and or a dish rag and some soapy water, and then rinse it out to get all the soap out. And that's pretty much it. So the other thing that we use in order to clean the outside of the unit, we found this Wayman these stainless steel wipes. Now we actually use these stainless steel wipes for everything. I mean, all of our stainless steel in our home, our refrigerator, stove, everything is pretty much stainless steel, dishwasher, all stainless steel. And some of the fingerprints and stuff that get on our kind of stuff is hard to get off. It just does not seem to come off just with regular dishwashing liquid and soap. So we use these, and these stainless steel wipes work very well. And again, I have to say that is the reason why the MegaHome Distiller that we have here looks as clean and looks like it's brand new straight out of the box. I mean, it really does a great job cleaning. And so for the inside, like I was saying, you don't have to run you don't have to use that water residue cleaner frequently. We would use it maybe once a week to as much as once a month. So essentially what I would do, every time I run it, I go and I take a sponge and I go in with some dishwashing liquid, clean the inside of the distiller out, and then I rinse it out nice and clean, fill it back up, and run it again. And I do that on a normal basis, and it's pretty clean. I mean, for a year's worth of usage, there's not a whole lot of residue in there. I mean, it really cleans it pretty well. And and I just recently ran it. So the residue that you see in there is from the last time I actually, from me running it to fill up the container just now. So it cleans it very well. Now, one of the things that you'll notice too, after you've been using it for a while, there seems to be like a little off-color ring at the top, just right at where that fill line is. The only thing I can come up with there is that because the water doesn't fill to that line, the top is heating up, and so by it heating and cooling and heating and cooling, it may be, you know, causing that to discolor a little bit on the top, but it does not interfere at all with the functionality of the unit. I've also heard of a couple of people who seem to have gotten some lemons, and I imagine with any product, no matter how good the product is, there's always going to be a few out there that have problems. One of the problems that someone commented on is that their distiller would start to turn off a little too early, so it would still have water left in the bottom. Ours, as it runs a year later, pretty much evaporates all of the water out of the tank. There's usually very, very, very little. I mean, maybe a teaspoon, a tablespoon of water left in the bottom of this tank once it's completed. So again, it works extremely, extremely well, and we've been enjoying it. We're going to continue to use it. I was actually wondering myself if after a year's time frame, if we would feel as if we needed to replace it, and there's no need for us to even replace it at this point. I believe the way it's been running, we'll probably get another year, 2, 3 years out of it. Hopefully longer, 4 or 5. Hopefully much longer. But like I said, it's been really, really working very well, and we've had no problems whatsoever with the distiller itself. The one thing I will tell you with any product, any electronic product that you buy, is 2 things, and this is something that I'm very serious about. I'm always serious about. One, if you're buying an electronic product and you plan and you intend on getting very good use out of it, the way we've gotten good use out of this one, always buy the best quality product that you possibly can. Now, we weren't that sure when we purchased this one. However, we did a lot of research, and we did check out product reviews from others who had used the product in the past, and this happened to be the highest rated one when we purchased it. Even though it may have been a little bit more expensive than other ones we were looking at, it was the best rated. And like I said, from those who actually did the reviews and whatnot, we can truly say thank you, because this has been an awesome purchase. So anytime that you purchase anything electronic, not just electronic, but mechanical devices, anything that you're going to use around your home or to make your life easier or better, make sure that you buy the best quality that you possibly can at that time. That way you're not constantly replacing, because usually what happens is if you buy something cheap, then what end up happening is it'll break, wear out very quickly. You'll end up having to replace it. And rather than replacing, and then deciding, okay, now I'm going to spend good money on a good product, buy something that's worth it up front. Don't waste your time. If it is something that you're only going to get one single use out of, or you're going to use it and then it's going to sit on the shelf for a while before you ever get another one, those types of things, okay, you might want to get something less expensive. But if it's something that you are going to be using, again, as much as we use this distiller, we pretty much use it every single day. I mean, almost every single day. And sometimes we go a period between, running the cleaner through it, because we need to run it to distill some more water. So it's been lasting, working like a champ, and we've had absolutely no complaints with how it works and how it runs at all. The other thing I will tell you too is, for the most part, looking at our electric bill, which we can pretty much monitor daily how many kilowatt hours we're actually using. When we're running this distiller, there's really no noticeable difference in how many kilowatt hours of electricity we're using. it doesn't make that much of a difference. At some point, maybe I'll try to go a complete day, controlled environment where we're not running anything, and then run this on another day and see if we can tell what that actual difference is, so I can and drop that in the comments. But that could take quite a bit to do, since we both work from home and we're both here almost every day. So we're turning lights on, we're doing other things, computers running, that kind of stuff. So I truly hope that this helps you out in some way. If you're thinking about whether or not to buy this MegaHome Distiller, then make sure you do check out my other video, as well as other people's videos talking about this particular distiller. Always weigh your options. Always look and do some shopping around to determine whether this is what you want or not, and if it fits your needs. Not only that, but hit that like and subscribe button, because I do many product reviews, all based on things that I believe are going to help you be the best individual, unique individual that you can possibly be, whether that be related to health, fitness, or whatever your gifts or dreams happen to be. So I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will talk to you again very soon.